all the participants have a wonderful session today. Thank you so much. Over to you, Mr. Agarwal.
Thank you, Alko. Hopefully I'm audible loud and clear.
Request the participants to quickly type in a yes in your chat box so that Mr. Agarwal knows that he's audible to all of you.
Sure, I'm seeing some yeses coming.
Yes.
Okay, great. So I think we'll start. So good morning, everyone. First of all, thank you for joining. It's a wonderful Friday morning, and here we are to kind of run you through the agenda that we have set up, which is about design thinking and HR analytics, and looking at how do they marry really well together to bring value for organizations. Now, the key agenda that we had set up, 4 key takeaways that you may expect from this session. First, a lot of myths that go around what is design thinking, what exactly is it to do with HR and things. So we will have a common understanding of what design thinking is, and have some wonderful stories for you to help you understand that how have organizations applied design thinking, and to some extent also marrying it with analytics to get better value for the organization. The second part would be what is analytics. That's the second piece that we will look at. Then we will, through a use case, we will also understand that how DT and analytics really marry well with each other. And the last part is some success stories that we're going to talk about. So I'm hopeful that you have a great journey around for the 2 hours that you are there with us, and you take back something to as a learning for yourself, as a takeaway for yourself. So before we start, just want just people on the WebEx, if you can just type out if I just pose a question to you, that what do you think is design? This question is for the participants. If you could just type out what do you think is design? So a framework. So Praveen says it's a framework. Anyone else with any other responses? No? Okay, so we have, it's a conceptualization. Design is not just how it looks, it's how it works. Okay, great. A plan, a pattern, it can be defined. Okay, great. So we have some interesting thoughts around it. So basically, if you look at it, a lot of people myth design around how this is the aesthetics of how something looks like, or how something is kind of aesthetically designed. But typically designed, if you look at any design, it has got 4 elements that we typically would look at. The first element of any great design has to be the functional element, or the functional aspect of a process, of a product, of a service, anything they're designing. If there's a functional need that the customer is expecting you to deliver, it can be an internal customer or an external customer. The second piece that we look at is the aesthetic. The third piece that a good design will also cater to is the commercial, or the commercial needs of the customer, whether our design fits into the pocket of the customer. And the fourth part is the emotional part, emotional need. What we've seen is a lot of designs have been able to cater to the, so we call it the face of design, which is functional, aesthetic, commercial and emotional. What we have seen is people have been majorly focusing on the FAC, which is the FAC, but the E has been missing a lot of times, and that's what necessarily design thinking brings in. That it is just not about the functional need that a lot of times a customer will be able to state to us. It is also about the latent needs, which a lot of times are emotional. How do we kind of surface them, and how do we bring them up to kind of design experiences which are memorable, which are long lasting for the users and the customers who we're designing for. So, secret ingredients of design thinking. 4 key words that we need to kind of remember. It's about empathy, brainstorming, prototyping, and storytelling. Now, why these are 4 words that we talk about, and you would have heard them multiple times. What we're going to see is some interesting stories around how organizations have used these concepts or the thought behind these words very effectively and delivered solutions which a lot of times would have normally not surfaced like this. So the first story that we have is from an organization known as Wigmans. Now, this is an interesting one. So basically, this organization was seeing exponential growth, and they were hiring lots of freshers, which you would also face in your organizations. They were hiring a lot of freshers, which had resulted into their overall expansion, or the employee expansion costs. They had increased exponentially. Now, one way to look at this challenge would have been that how do we optimize the cost, and how do we look at the employee benefit cost getting optimized. One way to look at it is look at the traditional ways of looking at how do we bring down the cost by maybe looking at what is value adding, what is non-value adding, maybe taking a process view of it. But what this organization did was something interesting. They said we would want to take the empathy route. We would want to go and understand from the users, from the employees, that what are they valuing out of the entire benefits plan that the organization is offering. What is the most valuable element that they have, or that they feel is what is their perception and their value. Basis that they will take a decision of what part of the whole benefits plan do we need to optimize, and do we need to kind of either remove or reduce or what. Now, an interesting thing what they were able to bring out, and here they had married analytics as well with design thinking or empathy